it looks like fear. It looks like fear, like he's scared of me. I think he's getting put into a corner now where he's running out of excuses. He said that the only thing I bring is 25 extra pounds, and I'm not worth nothing, but he's asking 200 million, and now he's gonna fight me in the same night. Like, this shit's just stupid, bro. Like, just tell the people you don't want to fight me.
Do you think, like, his hunger is dissipated? You know?
I don't know. I can't talk to you about what his hunger is, or how his training is, or how he feels. I can only speak to you about myself.
There is one specific reason why Canelo Alvarez seems to hesitate when the name David Benavidez comes up. And it's not just about money or belts. The truth is much darker and goes back over a decade to a secluded training camp in Big Bear, California. While the world sees Benavidez as the Mexican monster, few people know that his terrifying style was actually engineered by Canelo's greatest nightmare, Gennady Golovkin. Years ago, a teenage Benavidez was thrown into the ring to survive against a prime GGG, and what happened behind those closed doors didn't just traumatize him, it transformed him. Now Benavidez is revealing the specific secrets, the painful training methods, and the exact blueprint Golovkin gave him to dismantle the current king of boxing.
The first day we sparred when I was 15 years old, I remember I went there, that's before he fought in the U.S., so nobody knew him. And then my dad was like, hey, you want to spar? And I'm 15 years old. I'm like, yeah, I'll spar. So who you gonna spar? I'm like, that guy over there. So I turn to look at Golovkin, and he gives me, bro, the most killer look I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm kind of scared, to be honest with you. But I'm like, I'm not, if my dad thinks I can handle it, then fuck it, let's go. Having a great sparring, both catching each other. We both throw a left hook at the same time. Boom, hit it to the body. We both go, oh, step back. We both step back.
Imagine being 15 years old. You should be worrying about high school grades, video games, or getting your learner's permit. Instead, you are walking into a freezing cold gym in the mountains to trade punches with the most feared man on the planet. This was the reality for David Benavidez in 2013. At that time, Gennady Golovkin was knocking out everyone in sight, and his team was desperate for sparring partners who wouldn't quit after one round. Enter a teenage Benavidez. Most pros wouldn't dare step in the ring with GGG. Yet here was a kid, still physically growing, signing up for what many would consider a death wish. This wasn't a standard training camp, it was a survival horror movie. Benavidez admits that he was terrified, but that fear forced his senses to sharpen. He wasn't there to win, he was there to not get unconscious.
The other day, just because I admitted he is hard. I mean, he didn't hurt me at all, but he does hit hard. But the thing about Golovkin, he has so much twist and turn on his punches, and he knows precisely how to throw them. That's what makes his punches hard. And he has heavy fists too, so all that put together makes, that's why he knocks people out like the way he does, you know what I mean? People don't get up. I seen him knock, I was in training camp with him one time, I seen him knock 4 guys out back to back.
Back to back?
Back to back. One would get out, he would drop one would get out, another one would get in, he'd drop him, another one, and that guy, he's a real deal.
So did you think like, oh man, I gotta go spar with this guy now?
No, I was the first one that was sparring him,
oh, really?
But I would warm him up, basically. But yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying, I learned so much from him, you know, from my defense and all that. And you could go ask him, you could go interview him, and he'll tell you about our sparring sessions. We had some amazing sparring sessions. Yeah.
That's crazy work right there.
Yeah. I mean, that just molded me, you know, because I didn't have a big amateur career, but I feel like I didn't have any of the bad habits of the amateurs. You know what I mean? So when I did turn pro, I had all the, you know, I fought like a pro already when I went into the pro game. I didn't have to settle into, you know what I mean? I already knew what I was doing. I knew what to go for, you know, and I knew what, I didn't make any bad, I didn't have any bad habits in the ring, basically, so I just continue to grow from there.
The intensity of these sessions is hard to comprehend until you hear the specific stories Benavidez tells. He recalls one particular afternoon that changed his entire outlook on violence. It was a typical sparring day for Golovkin, but a nightmare for everyone else. Benavidez watched from the ring apron as GGG went through sparring partners like a buzzsaw. He didn't just beat them, he broke them. On that single day, Benavidez witnessed Golovkin knock out 4 different boxers, one after the other. These were grown men, professionals, crumbling under the pressure of the Kazakh thunder. Seeing 4 bodies drop in one afternoon taught the young Benavidez a brutal lesson. In this game, you are either the hammer or the nail. He decided right then that he would never be the nail again. He absorbed the violence he was seeing and began to mimic the predator standing across from him.
You were a heavyweight as an amateur, now you're a middleweight making waves out there. How do you feel training in Big Bear has helped you and prepared, being around the camps that are out there and also the fighters that are out there?
You know, we trained in Golovkin's his gym up there. Even though he wasn't there's nothing but great fighters out there, man. And I feel like I benefit a lot because I got in the ring with them, you know, 3 times a week with great fighters, and I feel like I benefit a lot. I learned a lot from each style. There was Russian. I learned the fighter that I just fought. There's this guy out there I sparred exactly like him. So I knew they were gonna come with big shots. So I kind of anticipated the shots and got him with the counter shots. But I feel like I did really good.
Now, your brother fought last week, and now you're finally making a name for yourself. Typically, when they bring up the Benavidez family, of course, they go to Jose first. Now you're becoming somewhat of a gym legend. People have heard the rumors about what happened with Gabriel Rosado, and you put sparring with Golovkin. You kind of touched on it before, but kind of elaborate a little bit more. How do you feel that sparring with them has prepared you at such a young age to be a professional fighter and rise up to the rankings?
You know, it really, the first thing when you get in the ring, the first thing you feel is power. And I've sparred with these guys since I was a little kid, so I think I've got prepared to the power to the point where it's not really real power, but, you know, you start to be cautious. You don't want to get caught, but I've seen way more power than anybody that I'm going to get in the ring with. But, you know, it's preparing me for what's coming next in the future.
Surviving the sparring was one thing, but Benavidez was also watching GGG's strange, almost secretive preparation rituals. He noticed that Golovkin possessed an unnatural kind of heavy power, the kind where a jab feels like a brick hitting your forehead. Benavidez realized this wasn't just genetics, it was engineering. He observed GGG doing a peculiar exercise with a kettlebell every single day. Golovkin would hold a heavy kettlebell by the handle and rotate it slowly on its flat side, twisting his wrist back and forth until his forearms were screaming. It looked simple, but it was grueling. Benavidez stole this technique immediately. He realized that by strengthening the tendons in the wrist and forearm, he could turn his fist into a solid, unyielding object. Today, when opponents say Benavidez hits differently, they aren't feeling normal power. They are feeling that stolen Soviet secret.
Like you said, you have been training with Gennady Golovkin, sparring with him. You actually sparred with him when you were 15 years old, right? How was that as a 15-year-old sparring with him?
15-year-old is the thing that saved me. I wasn't really as scared as I didn't know who he was when I was 15. I just seen this guy and he gave me like this scary look, and I was like, damn. But you know, as me, I had a held my ground. You know, I held my ground. I felt really good. You know, and he liked the work, and I went back last week, 2 weeks ago, and you know, we did really good work again. And now he has me as a main sparring partner. So, you know, it's really a blessing. You know.
And now, okay, so you sparred with him when you were 15, but now older. How have you changed, and how has he changed?
You know, his power is still there. He's a great fighter, so he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. But for me, you know, it's 5 years ago that I sparred him. Now I have 5 years of experience. You know, there's a lot of things I've learned in those 5 years. You know, but the thing that hasn't changed is that we've been giving each other great work. You know, the work is great. You know, everything is great. You know, and I'm very blessed to be working with him.
As the years went on, the influence of those bloody sessions began to manifest in Benavidez's own fighting identity. If you look closely at how the Mexican monster fights today, you are seeing a larger, younger ghost of Gennady Golovkin. Benavidez learned that true pressure isn't just about walking forward, it's about cutting off the exits. GGGG taught him how to herd an opponent into the ropes without running, using footwork to shrink the ring until the other fighter feels claustrophobic. Benavidez took this zombie pressure style and amplified it with his massive frame. He doesn't just beat opponents, he drowns them in volume and anxiety, exactly the way GGG did during his prime. Benavidez has openly stated, "I am the fighter I am today because of him," acknowledging that the monster the world fears was built in Golovkin's laboratory.
David Benavidez, who call frauds, Triple G, and a lot of fighters have been praising. How's it been training with Triple G?
So it's been good, man. You know, we started the camp. We have it's about to be 2 weeks already. You know, camp is going great. You know, I'm in there sparring with one of the best fighters today. You know, it's a blessing to be a part of this great training camp.
How's it been sparring with him? How's his power?
It's been good, man. You know, of course, everybody knows Triple G is a strong puncher. You know, he's a strong fighter, but it's also a lot. He thinks a lot in the ring. You know, and it's very great working, being able to work with him.
How's his IQ? Because people talk about how he cuts off the ring, how
his IQ is very high, man. It's only when you're sparring him, when you're really up against him, you can really see how he works. He not only cuts the ring off, he waits for you to make that one little mistake, and that body shot, man. And it's a scary punch. Whoever gets touched, that body shot is going down.
Is there a deadly punch that you think that's his go-to weapon, whether it's an uppercut, a hook, or a body shot?
Well, he has a variety of weapons he could use. He has an uppercut, left hook. He has that looping overhand that hits you at the top of the head. But I think the most deadly shot is the left hook to the body. And his jab is really underrated. Well, not underrated because they give him a lot of credit for it, but he doesn't. He has a variety of weapons he could use, man. So it's not only a left hook to the body. You really gotta protect every part of yourself because he's really deadly. He uses a lot of weapons.
This connection to Golovkin adds a fascinating layer to the ongoing drama with Canelo-Alvarez. There have been whispers and rumors for years that Canelo's team has been well aware of Benavidez's education. In fact, Benavidez claims that years ago, when he was still an up-and-comer, Canelo's camp refused to let him spar with the champion. The speculation is that they knew Benavidez was already programmed with GGG's software. Letting him into Canelo's camp would have been like letting a spy in the door. They feared he would learn Canelo's habits and combine them with GGG's pressure, creating an unbeatable hybrid. Now, that fear seems to have become reality. Canelo looks at Benavidez and doesn't just see a challenger. He sees the one style that gave him the hardest nights of his life, repackaged in a younger, hungrier body.
I give Gennady Golovkin all the credit he deserves because he's the reason why I'm the fighter I am today. Because when I was to spar him in there, those were not sparring sessions, they were real fights. And he'd push me to the level, so I'd have to find different ways to block, to get out the way because, he was punchy with everything. So he made me learn more and push my IQ up, just to be in there with him, you know what I mean? And I learned a lot with him, so I give him all the credit. I'm the fighter I am today because of those sparring sessions I had with him. I sparred him from 15 till 19 years old. The last time I sparred him is when he fought Daniel Jacobs. So I learned a lot from that guy. So, hats off to Gennady Golovkin. He's a great man. He's a great champion in and outside the ring, and, I owe him a lot.
Benavidez isn't just relying on intimidation. He has a tactical plan derived directly from those lessons. He believes the key to destroying Canelo lies in the heavy jab and the refusal to respect Canelo's power. GGG taught him that if you back up against a power puncher, you lose. You have to smother the fire. Benavidez points to Dimitri Bivol's victory over Canelo as proof that the blueprint works. Bivol used discipline and range, traits Benavidez has mastered. But unlike Bivol, Benavidez brings a level of aggression that Canelo hasn't seen since the GGG trilogy. Benavidez recently claimed that Canelo has no chance to beat him now because the window has closed. He believes he has surpassed his teacher and evolved the style into something Canelo cannot puzzle out.
I don't really like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram.
Right.
If I say something, they say this or that. But I only want what I earned.
Right.
And I'm entitled to it. From what the WBC told me, they say you win the title limiter, we'll give you a title shot. You win the WBC interim title, we'll give you a title shot. I've been in this position for 3 years. So just because Canelo, he could do what he wants, as he says.
Right.
He's not going to fight the top competition. And he's holding all those belts hostage, bro. And it's not like you got other great fighters too. You got me and David Morrell's there. Yeah. How is it fair that these sanctioning bodies let him pick and choose who he wants to fight? And then the Canelo fans too that be talking shit, bro. Like, do you guys not want to see the best fights?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. I'm just trying to make the best fights happen. And that's it. At the end of the day, I just want to give the fans what they want to see.
Yeah.
The tragedy for boxing fans is that we might be denied this fight because the risk is simply too high for the current king. Canelo-Alvarez is a legend, but legends are often haunted by the ghosts of their past. David Benavidez stands as a living, breathing reminder of the wars Canelo fought against Gennady Golovkin. He is the spiritual successor to the GGG style, armed with the secrets of the Soviet school and the heart of a Mexican warrior. Whether the fight happens or not, one thing is undeniable. The Mexican monster was forged in the fire of those Big Bear sparring sessions, and he is ready to burn down the division. The question isn't if Benavidez is ready for Canelo. It's whether Canelo is ready to face his nightmare one more time.
So the way I've seen him handle my presence is he's definitely scared of me. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter because I know that elevates me and who I am as a competitor. So that's I know for a fact that he sees in me. At the end of the day, he should have took the fight with me way back then because if he had a chance to beat me, it would have been back then. He has no chance of beating me now, especially now I'm getting all this confidence. You know, I'm stepping into my prime. You know, I'm able to deal with these bigger shows better. You know what I mean? I'm able to thrive in these shows. I'm able to, every time I fight, I'm always winning by a significant amount. You know what I mean? So I'm learning my craft better and better each and every single fight. I'm gaining more confidence every single fight. And like I said, I really want to go in there and hurt people. I'm not a boxer. I'm a warrior, and I go in there, I tear everybody up.
I agree, by the way, with that analysis. I think Canelo's best chance to get you was when you were on your way up. And to be honest, David, I didn't think you took it as seriously then as you do now. The way Floyd caught Canelo on Canelo's way up, now it's more of a problem. One of the things, guys, real quick, no one's ever beaten Canelo with Benavidez type style. The guys who beat Canelo move, right? Who has ever brought it to Canelo, because he's such a great counterpuncher also, and beaten him that way?
That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.